Welcome to More Book Reviews. I am Zach Moore, and I am here to talk about a book called Watchmen. It is a comic book, graphic novel, whatever word you want to use for that. There was a 2009 movie made of it you might be familiar with, as well as a 2019 HBO series made about it. And I love the book. It was great. I didn't read comic books growing up. I watched a lot more TV and superhero stuff, so I didn't really read comics. But if you'll see, obviously, it's got the comic book style, super good, and it was really cool to read a book that had pictures in it. I haven't done that in a while, and it was a good throwback reading a picture book again. But I want to actually read just to kind of give you a picture, really, of how good it is. Lost, this TV show Lost, the co-creator Damon Lindelof, he said, it's the greatest piece of popular fiction ever produced. And I love Lost. I don't know if anybody else out there loves Lost, but the fact that a co-creator of that said that it was the greatest piece of popular fiction ever produced, definitely, after I read that, I was like, okay, I guess I'll check it out. Got some quick pros and cons on it. I mean, biggest pro is it's a comic book. It's awesome. It kind of throws me back into that nostalgia of being a kid and like reading, or like watching cartoons and like kind of having that feeling of that. While I didn't actually read comic books growing up, it still kind of put me back into that childlike wonder, which was really cool. It has an amazing storyline. The characters are so fleshed out, and you know their backgrounds, you know who they are as people, you know their mannerisms and everything like that. So very unique characters, and each page itself is filled with amazing artwork. Like, actually, in this, the details too, so many specific things. Like, you might see something on the bottom of like a box in there that is actually a reference to something that happens 3 chapters later. And obviously that's intentional with the way that they wrote it, but definitely it's a book that you can't just kind of read and be like, oh cool, oh cool. It is something that has so much intentionality behind all of it, which was really cool. Keeps you interested on every page. That's another pro. I didn't read it all in one sitting, but I feel like I definitely could have. Couple cons, there's a specific chapter, or a few chapters, where there's actually a character that's reading a comic book within a comic book. So almost very, Inception-esque, a comic book within a comic book, dream within a dream. So that was hard for me personally to kind of stay focused on, like, okay, how does what he's reading have to do with the story that I'm reading? And of course, kind of, it does tie in, but it's very confusing for me personally along the way. That was honestly probably the biggest con. It's not a kid's comic book. This was written in the nitty-gritty 80s, and definitely has a good amount of swears and inappropriate comments, so it's not a book to get your kids, but I think for sure for you to read it, I think it would be very good if you're a mature adult that could handle such a thing. So I fully enjoyed it, and I think that you would enjoy it too. I really think that if you're into that sort of, crime, fighting, superhero-esque type of Marvel, DC comics type of a thing, I really think that you'd like it. And even if you like the movies or like the series, I'd have to go back and watch the movie and the HBO series again. But there are a lot of similarities. It's not like it completely butchered it and doesn't look anything like it. From what I remember, it's very similar, which is always a good thing. So anyway, that's all I got. I would say, for sure, 5 out of 5 stars for this one. I'd say go get it, for sure. I won't buy it for you, but I definitely recommend it. So, Watchmen, really good. Go get it.